Hey Dan,
Hey, hey Steve.
how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Same here.
Good, good. Feeling a bit nervous.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How's that happen?
Oh, wow. Don't know, but it's apprehension.
Well, in spite of all that, why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about your story?
Right, okay. Well, I'd say it's been quite a colourful life. And then about 10 years ago, there was something happened that I couldn't understand what it was. Um, I was basically walking through a field, and then I wasn't there.
Uh-huh.
And then it was like after that, that's when the seeking really began. Yeah.
Okay.
And before non-duality, there was going to India to ashrams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, really into all that. I was into all that. Oh, what do you call it? Like applied non-duality.
Okay.
Like Tolle and all that stuff. And then I think probably 2 years ago, I came across Tony Parsons.
Yeah.
Since then, I can't seem to go back to any. I was quite into therapy and stuff as well, and none of that. Yeah, it's just like I can't really go back to any of that. It seems like I'm just hooked on this message, but
Yeah.
I'm still it. Yeah.
Just had a noisy airplane go over.
Oh, okay, right.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, no, no, I've just got
Okay.
noisy seagulls here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So you live by the beach?
yeah. Yeah, about 20-minute walk.
Oh,
Yeah.
same here.
Oh, nice.
We
You're
got
in.
seagulls. We got seagulls around here too.
Oh, cool. San Diego, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely.
Right next to Mexico.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
A lot of Spanish names in California.
Yep.
San Diego is just one of them.
Okay.
But then how do you explain Carlsbad? Anyway,
Yeah.
so have there been other disappearances since the first one?
Yeah, like micro, like smaller sort of. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's quite a lot. They go through periods where um it's almost like I think like that was just something that won't happen again. It was something that and then suddenly there might be briefly. Yeah, I think the last time was probably a month ago. I think I did a one-to-one with someone then.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, it was strange. It was like literally when I opened the thing to speak to this person, there was a glimpse. It
Okay.
just, yeah. But there seems to be, it's funny, it seems to be like, I don't know what it is, but since these glimpses started, life's just not like what it was. It just seems to be like a lot of turmoil.
Yes.
Yeah, it's shaken up a lot of stuff, it
Yes.
seems. Yeah,
Well, that was the experience here too.
right.
Steve had glimpses,
Yeah,
and that's how he got involved in all this.
yeah,
But that's another story.
yeah. I remember seeing you on Emerson's
Yeah. Oh yeah.
meeting. Yeah,
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 that
yeah.
you may have seen the first retreat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that's when I showed up for the first time. And
Yeah.
I asked him what's going on with these glimpses.
Yeah.
And he started talking about
Mm,
emptiness and fullness.
that's it. Yeah.
And then so things just went the way they went at that point.
Yeah.
But aside from that, aside from that story, right now, right now, Dan, what is it that you believe?
I guess I believe I'm real.
Ah, and what is what is what are you without that belief?
Yeah, exactly. You can't say.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
What is
well,
it? It,
nothing. That's what I would say.
okay.
Yeah.
So what is it? What is it between real and unreal? Real and not real?
Nothing.
So what is it about that? What is it about that nothing? If you just if you just talk about that nothing.
Um, I guess it's everything. It's um, I can't really talk about it.
No.
It's blank.
Yes, it is. It is blank.
Mm.
What else is it? That nothing, that blank.
Um, um, well, I guess it's I don't know. I can't. Um,
Yes, it can't be known.
no.
It really can't be described or it really can't be talked about. It's somehow beyond description, beyond words, and yet it's there. Somehow it's there and not really there.
Yeah.
And it's always there. It's always there when thought's not there.
Yeah.
So what is it between thought and no thought?
You can't say. Well, um, I guess the thought creates a sort of solidness.
Yeah, the
Mm,
thought's always looking to have a foothold somewhere
that's right.
so that be, it can continue to be.
Yeah.
And that foothold is either in the past or the future. Are there thoughts now? Are there thoughts there?
Um, there's a tension in the body, which I
Okay,
suppose, yeah,
okay. So that may be a thought looking for a place to put its foot.
I think it is. Yeah,
Isn't it interesting that that somehow there's a place where thought somehow doesn't belong,
yeah. And
or a
it's
thought somehow can't go.
yeah, and it
Even
feels afraid. It's like it has to hold on somewhere.
yes,
It doesn't want to
yes,
fall, doesn't want to drop.
yes, or it won't be.
That's it.
The great fear, the great fear that thought has is that it won't be.
Yeah.
And so here where there is no thought, maybe some tension. Is there anything missing? Is there anything lacking?
No.
Is there
There's a fear.
any
There's a fear.
suffering?
No, no. Just a fear, really.
A fear?
Fear. Yeah, I feel like a fear. Yeah.
Is that the tension?
Yeah.
Is that the thought fearing
Yep.
something? So what's between fear and no fear?
Nothing.
Yes.
Mm.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Is no fear okay?
Yeah.
Is there a fear of no fear?
Just fear.
So thought still has a fear of not being somehow.
Seems so. Yeah.
And yet that nothing, that wordless nothingness, does it have fear?
No.
Is there anything to be afraid of?
Not until thought says so. Yeah.
And if the thought's trying to go to the future, that something will happen in the future. But if this is not the past and not the future, if this is just this presentness, is there any fear there?
No, it's just a sort of alive feeling in the body.
I'm sorry, it's what?
Oh, so an alive feeling in the body. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's all it is. It's like, yeah.
Simple,
Yeah.
simple in a way, unremarkable, and in a way, very remarkable. In a way, real, and in a way, somehow unreal. Yet it's still there. So how is that fear now?
It's more of a sort of comfort. Yeah. It's not anything, the fear is not really such a problem. It's funny how you know, me tries to avoid it, but actually it's not anything to fear. It's just that feeling. It's
It's a feeling that thought is expecting something to happen in the future.
Yeah, it's a feeling. It's like a sort of, yeah, like I said, it's still this sort of holding on
Yes.
feeling. Yeah, feels like a
And
sort of like, yeah,
and what is between holding on and not holding on, or holding on and letting go? What's between that? Holding and letting go.
nothing.
Yes.
Mm.
That nothing that's something. And nothing that's somehow okay.
Yeah,
And nothing that's always there and always has been and always will be. It's predictable and it's not predictable. When you see that nothing, sometimes there's a little sound. Sometimes it comes with a little sound, like some people say, like a little buzzing in the ear, a little static sound. Do you hear any
I've
sound?
no, I've had that before. I seem to have at the moment a tingling on the top of my head.
Oh, okay, okay. That sounds okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Your hair's still there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was on a Zoom this morning with, do you know Rose? Rose?
yeah.
Yeah, and it was the same. That was happening there.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's always there. It's always there, even when thought is thinking up a storm. The nothing that's something is always there. So how is that nothing now?
it's quite
It's
quite full
being
on.
it's being quiet.
Yeah, just there's just a sort of calmness. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, quiet.
that's the way things are when there's no thinking.
Yeah, and I just there's this buzzing in my body.
Okay,
Yeah,
how does that feel?
nice.
It's okay, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Sort of, I feel hot. I don't know why that is.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
okay. Well, maybe that's maybe that's the thoughts doing something else.
yeah. Maybe.
In any case, do the thoughts matter?
Well,
Whatever they're doing,
they're not even coming up at the
they're
moment.
not.
No.
How about that?
Yeah.
They don't know how to go there.
No.
They don't know how to
Not
go.
yet. I can't remember the last time I at the beginning I had a lot of thoughts, but
Yeah.
yeah, there seems to be there seems to just be this noticing of this sort of vibrating. Yeah.
Uh, well, maybe that's thoughts just waiting, waiting for their moment.
Oh God. The swoop in.
So Does it matter if there are no thoughts?
No,
Does it matter if there are thoughts?
no,
Are thoughts even relevant?
no.
When you're seeing this, who's doing the seeing?
The seeing.
Yeah, well, who?
Mm.
Where's Dan?
Not sure.
How does that feel?
Feels free. Yeah.
Feels okay?
Yeah. Yep. There's still a slight tension in the body, but it's not. It's not a problem.
Well, it may be there, it may not. It's in a sense, it's just another thought.
Yeah.
Creating something,
Mm.
just another thought, another way to continue to be Dan.
Yep.
So how is it? How is this without Dan?
Just very open.
Anything wrong with that?
No. It feels. No, it feels a joy, really, just to, yeah, just to be.
Yes.
Mm.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? It seems like life or this or it is joyous, just joyous,
Yeah.
just being it. So basically, we're all it already.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, life is simple, without problems, without difficulty, without anxiety, without stress, without all the things that thought creates for itself, thinking it's the one with the life. And it can't see anything that's being talked about here. So Steve, like I said, disappeared.
Yeah.
He disappeared. He used to disappear when he took his wife to the chiropractor. And he couldn't figure that one out.
No.
But it was a nice experience. But again, it was the glimpses. The glimpses are like teases, little teasing. And so he went looking for an explanation.
Yeah.
But that's that's the way the story started for him. Now things, after a couple of years of clarity,
Mm.
there's there's kind of a deepening
Right.
that happens. Again, the words don't work real well, but now that talking now, um, that old story doesn't even describe what's happening now. It's just all this all the time.
Yeah.
And there's changing, things change, things keep somehow maybe unfolding somehow.
Mm.
But the glimpses are hard to even remember
Yeah.
anymore.
Mm.
And they're not necessary. So they're not missed. They're not missed, and they're not even necessary to describe things, because things are being seen the way they're seen now.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling now?
Yeah. Still very calm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this background has looks like it has a little bit of Mexico in it.
Oh, and here.
This
Oh.
background,
Oh, yours.
yeah, it
Yeah.
looks it looks like a bit of a birthday party.
Yeah. It does. It's quite trippy on my eyes.
Is it? Yeah. Well, it has a party feel to it.
Yeah. Definitely celebration.
Yeah.
Mm.
So are there any doubts?
Yeah. It's funny. This sort of tension's kind of coming back a bit, and it is creating a doubt. Yeah.
So so what's between doubt and no doubt?
Nothing.
It always comes back to nothing, huh?
Mm, mm.
Nothing
Yeah.
that's
Nothing. Yeah.
nothing that's something. Nothing that's somehow something. That's predictable. It's always there, even when there's doubt, even when there's tension, even when there's thinking. It's always there. It's always available. It can always be returned to, even though there's no one returning. It can always be seen, even when there's thinking up a storm of some kind,
Yeah.
thinking up a doubt of some kind,
Yeah.
thinking the worst.
Yeah. It's like the attention. It's like when it sort of can look at itself, it seems that that's when there's a sort of tension of being here. Does that make sense? That's
So who's looking at itself?
it, I guess.
So the thought is looking at itself.
Well, it seems like that, but
So it's looking at itself so that it can find a foothold.
yes. Yep.
Somehow it keeps trying to find a foothold in this.
Yeah.
It just doesn't get it that its foot doesn't fit.
No.
It just doesn't get it that it can't step on this. It can't step on this. It can't enter this. It can't be or own or have this.
Yeah.
So it may try,
Yeah.
it may create or grasp for attention from itself. Because it doesn't know how to enter or be this. It's
Yeah.
not possible.
Yeah. It's like two can't enter.
That's right.
Yeah, because when it briefly drops, it seems, like I said like earlier, I couldn't find a thought, and then once somehow it reattached to itself, it's back to wanting to go, but knocking on the door again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's between knocking on the door and not knocking on the door?
Yeah. It's just this is there's no there's no difference. Yeah, in a way.
It's always there.
Yeah.
It's always this,
Yeah.
even when the brain is knocking
Yeah.
or when the brain is trying not to knock.
Exactly. Yeah.
Both are thoughts.
Mm.
That's like me and no me.
Yeah.
What's between me and no me?
There isn't anything between it. No.
Yes, this,
It's
this,
right.
this
Which,
is
which
between it.
isn't a thing. Yeah.
So even a even a, even a thinking, the brain thinking it's no me, even if the brain thinks it's no me, oh, I've realized no me,
Yeah.
it's just another foothold. The brain has stepped in
Yeah.
that way,
Yeah.
but it's not this. It's
No.
it's stepped from the past into the future,
Yeah.
but it's not this.
No.
It stepped over this. It missed it.
Yeah,
It missed
like,
it.
like lightning speed.
Yeah. Isn't that isn't that interesting how thought acts?
Yeah,
How thought acts, and as it's acting, this can't be seen.
yeah,
It keeps stepping over it. It keeps missing it. It's like there's no way it can hit the target.
yeah.
So thought will keep doing what it does. Does that matter?
No,
Does thought
well,
does thought have a fear of it mattering?
no.
So
Hang on, I think I've got low battery at the moment. One sec. Hang on.
okay.
Mm. Right, there we go.
You fixed it?
Fixed it. Yep.
Okay.
Right.
So you you can always go between thought and no thought. You can always look between belief and no belief.
Yeah.
You can always see between past and future. And this will always be there. No matter what the thoughts are doing about themselves. When you're talking now, where are the words coming from?
I don't know.
Are thoughts thinking the words to say first?
Trying to, but
Okay. When thoughts are unable, when they're not able to think the words first, where
yeah,
are the words coming from?
nowhere. Here.
How about that?
Yeah.
The words somehow come out of this. They're just coming straight from this.
Yeah.
And yet they make sense,
Yep.
even though they didn't have to be thought up first.
That's it.
How about that?
Yeah. It's crazy. At the moment, I've got this tingling up my
Yeah,
spine now. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that may happen.
Yeah.
There's the the thought has quite a history, it thinks. So as this continues, as this seeing continues, the thoughts will do whatever they do.
Yeah.
They're irrelevant. They're just the brain going in circles, trying to exist
Yeah.
as Dan.
Hmm.
You can see that the thoughts that come from this, that the words, excuse me, the words that come from this don't come from anywhere.
No.
They don't come from thought. So thought is seen as irrelevant.
Yeah.
When you,
Yeah.
when you
They flow. Yeah. There's more of a flow to them. Yeah.
when you really see the words coming, when you really see this saying the words rather than thought,
Yeah.
it becomes, it's seen that the
Right.
thoughts are basically irrelevant. And humanity places such a high value on thinking.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Well,
From here, the more it's seen that thoughts come from this,
yes. Yes. Yeah.
and they're, I'm sorry, the words come from this, right?
Yeah.
Not thoughts. That words come from this, and it's seen that the words are perfect. They're perfect in the sense that they come from nowhere and they somehow work. It throws thought out the window. It's useless.
Yeah.
So that would be just totally unacceptable to most of the thinking population of humans.
Yeah.
Totally unacceptable that someone would be talking this way about thought.
Mm.
It it would throw people into a real turmoil.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Mm.
I can't trust my own thoughts.
Yeah.
But that's what's seen here. The more you see where the words actually come from,
Yeah.
the less important or the less valid or the less relevant thinking is.
Mm.
So what does that say about the tension in the body?
It's just what's happening. It can't. It's not. It gives the impression that it's a long-lasting body. You know that, but it seems to be at the moment that there's like, seems strange, but it's almost like there's two worlds. There's something trying to hold on, and yet it's quite obvious what's being said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, but it seems like that at the same time. Is how I can. It's quite bizarre.
So that's what the thought is doing.
Yeah.
It's holding. It's holding on for its dear life,
Yeah.
waiting for an opportunity
Yeah.
to
It's,
think something.
yeah.
And yet this has no use for it. There's no need of it. It's superfluous. It's useless. So as you continue to see, it's likely you'll continue to see what thought is doing in its attempt to see this or to
Yeah,
be this.
that's it. Yeah, it wants to come as well.
Well,
It wants to come in.
yeah, it wants to come to the party.
Oh,
It wants to come to the party. What will end up happening is this will just go about what it's doing without it.
yeah,
It'll just keep doing what it's doing. It has no need for it. It'll just keep going its own way, its own perfect way. And thought just kinds of peters out. There's no longer, it no longer has any place to be. How does that sound?
nice. Sounds, yeah, sounds free.
And then it's this which continues to see what it sees. It's the one seeing the changes in this.
Yeah,
Things will keep changing for this or as this.
mm,
In a kind of a deepening way. And it just keeps going, just keeps happening. And it's fine. It's quietly perfect, or it's joyously perfect. Whatever happens to be happening. How are you feeling now?
it's funny, right? There's this tension, but the tension it will sort of dissolve, and there's this like tingling all in my body. But it's sort of going between being solid and dissolving, and then it's strange.
Okay.
Yeah, like one minute it's just that thought goes, and there's just the voice there, and
Yeah.
there's tingling, like this buzzing, and then it's like a fear, and there's a tension,
Yeah.
and then it feels like Dan's here again. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Well, it's trying to get its attention.
Yeah,
It's looking for attention. It's trying to
what thought is, you mean?
it's trying to be Dan.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah.
So what is between Dan and no Dan?
Nothing.
the brain is, or the thoughts are trying to be Dan or
Yeah.
no Dan.
Yeah.
And this is in between Dan and no Dan.
Mm.
It
Like a gap.
always is.
Yeah,
It's
like a gap.
always, yes, it's
Yeah.
always, it's like thoughts are on both sides. Dan, Dan and no Dan, Dan and no Dan. But this is always there in the middle
Yeah.
between Dan and no Dan.
Like when Dan goes to sleep, there's no Dan. But
Right.
when Dan wakes up, there's no Dan. And then suddenly, Dan, he appears. Yeah.
So Dan, you're always this. You don't have to be anything but this. This is always this. So you can always see between Dan and no Dan.
Yeah.
If Dan is up, if Dan is up there thinking, you can always see between Dan and no Dan, between thought and no thought, between past and future,
Mm.
between belief and non-belief. This is always between those thoughts.
Yeah.
So enjoy being this. You don't have to be anything but this. You
Yeah.
aren't, you are not anything but this. It would be helpful to talk again
Definitely. Yeah. I'd like that.
because the thought is going to continue
Yeah.
trying to be Dan or no Dan.
Yeah.
So we can do another Saturday like this if that works.
That'd be great. Definitely.
Okay.
And how do I donate to you? Have you got is there a link on your website?
Uh, I'll put, well, basically, you know, the email you've been using to
Yeah.
talk to me.
Yeah.
Okay. You can just go to PayPal
Oh, great. Yeah.
and and send whatever
Sure.
information to that
Yeah.
email,
Great.
and
Yeah.
it'll go right to me.
Great.
That'd be great.
Do that. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
No, no question. No.
Okay, then we'll set up another one for Saturday
Sounds good.
and we'll do it
Great.
again.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent.
And then it usually takes a couple of times to kind of for this to kind of settle in,
Yeah.
kind of.
Sure.
Okay, Dan.
Thanks. Great talking to you. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you next
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. See you next week. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.